When Emily stepped to the front entrance that Sunday night, pulling her suitcase behind her, she had that unmistakable post-vacation radiance. Hair tousled by the wind, skin bronzed by the sun, and a smile far too radiant to seem entirely genuine. She threw her arms around me, planted a kiss on my cheek, and carried on as though nothing in the world was amiss. "God, it feels good to be home," she declared with a laugh while placing her luggage aside. I returned the smile, the sort of measured, courteous expression you put on when the reality is already clear, but you're patiently letting the deception play itself out until the end. "How was the girls' trip?" I inquired. "Oh, amazing," she answered almost instantly. "We went hiking, wine tasting, just a bunch of girl stuff." I gave a nod. "Sounds fun." Then I rested against the kitchen counter and spoke quietly. "So, did you and Mike have fun, too?" In that exact instant, her smile turned rigid. The brief flash of alarm in her gaze told me everything I had suspected over the past several weeks was true. She attempted to regain composure, stuttering, "Mike? Who's Mike?" Yet the quiver in her tone gave her away completely. I held off on responding immediately. I observed her coming apart. Noticed her fingers trembling while she fumbled to open her suitcase zipper, as though that minor action might somehow divert my attention from the obvious remorse pouring out of her. "You know," I continued deliberately, "Mike, the one you called 3 times last night at 1:14 a.m. while your phone's GPS showed you at a beach resort 2 hours away from where your friends were staying." Her lip began to tremble. You went through my phone." I offered another smile. "No, Emily, you went through my trust." She sank down into the nearest chair, eyes enormous, breaths coming in uneven gasps. "It's not what you think," she murmured. The familiar phrase, the rehearsed response every person who cheats prepares in advance. "Then tell me what is." I replied evenly, keeping my tone composed, nearly hushed. "Because right now it looks like my wife went on a girls' trip that included one man and not me." She pressed her face into her palms and started sobbing. I'd witnessed this performance in the past. Tears that appear only after the falsehoods collapse entirely. Anger had already left me. What remained was completion. The facts emerged in fragments. Mike was a former colleague she had gotten back in touch with. One drink turned into dinner. Dinner turned into a weekend mistake. I remained quiet throughout, letting each revelation strike like another hammer blow, sealing the end of our marriage. Once she finished, I questioned, "Was it worth it?" She lifted her head, mascara running, and breathed, "No." I gave a nod. "Good," I stated. "I swear it was just a mistake." Her pleading desperation saturated the space around us, dense and overwhelming. Yet the moment had passed irretrievably. I withdrew my arm. "You don't accidentally betray someone who would have given you the world." I told her, "You made a choice. Now you live with it." Her sobs intensified, reverberating throughout the home we had constructed side by side. I never raised my volume. I never banged any doors. I simply gathered my own belongings and departed, leaving her seated amid the wreckage she created through her actions. Over the following weeks, she attempted to reach me through calls, messages, even appearing at my workplace. I offered no response. Each communication carried the identical plea. "Please, I'm sorry." But apologies cannot undo betrayal. For years, I had held the belief that loyalty was an automatic companion to love. I discovered it is not. It's a deliberate decision. When she elected to shatter it for a brief weekend excitement with a man who vanished as soon as reality arrived. Months afterward, someone we both knew informed me that Mike had relocated out of state. Evidently, he informed her he wasn't prepared for anything serious. The irony cut deeply. She had discarded our marriage for an individual with no intention of remaining. By that point, I had settled into a modest apartment with a view of the city. It wasn't elaborate, but it offered tranquility. No falsehoods, no pretense, only quiet and room to recover. One afternoon, she forwarded a lengthy email overflowing with remorse, pleading for a fresh opportunity. I went through every sentence, then shut it without a reply. At the close, she had written, "You were right. You were the only one who ever truly loved me." Perhaps that was accurate, But love absent respect amounts to nothing more than suffering, and I had endured more than enough. Now, reflecting on that instant when she entered smiling after a girls' trip, I understand that my calm inquiry, "Did you and Mike have fun?" carried no rage. It represented finality. I required no shouting or evidence to make my point. She had already forfeited the single element that held true importance, my trust. And when trust perishes, everything else follows suit.